Good morning everybody, bom dia todos. Yes, I am back. I know I've been gone for a while, but I'm back. Lots of news for you. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you will know that Andreza was sold last month. So I've sold Motia Andreza. Very sad, but I have owned her for 9 years and it was about time for a change. Couple of things happening. We're looking for another boat at the minute still, but that's ongoing. But in the meantime, I can't be without a boat. So I've actually won and bought this thing behind me here. This is a beautiful Cranchi CSL 28. She's an older boat, she's 2000, and she's in rather sorry state, unfortunately. She's been let go, but my intention is, being inspired by watching Aquaholic channel and his friend Richard, who restored a Sunseeker Superhawk and Tomahawk or whatever it was, whichever one it was, I thought I'd have a go myself. So I bought an old Cranchi because I love Italian sports boats, and in its day this thing was like the Ferrari of the seas. She's been let go a little bit, but her engines are in good condition. She's been looked after mechanically. Her hull is absolutely pristine. We've had her out of the water once to have a quick look at her, and she's got not a single scrap of osmosis or anything on the hull, so she's looking absolutely brilliant. And that tells me that she's probably spent every winter out of the water, either on a dry stack or on a trailer somewhere, but she's absolutely pristine. The engines have only done 500 hours, which is absolutely amazing to say she's 23 years old. And the rest of her is in a little sorry state. She could do with a little bit of care and attention, and my intention is to restore her. I bought her between myself and my business partner as a project for us to do this summer. So we're going to bring her back up to how she was when she was new, and then using a little bit of tasteful artistic license, we're going to just add a few finishing touches to her to make her special. So I'll give you a quick tour of the boat, show you what he's doing on it, and give you an idea of what we're going to do to her. And then over the next few weeks, she's due to come out of the water in about another 3 weeks to go into the hard to have some of the more extensive work done on her. But there'll be other bits and pieces that we're doing over the next few weeks and over the next couple of months to bring her back up to spec till she's pristine, and we'll use her over the summer while we continue to look for another boat. Absolutely brilliant. I've done a particularly good deal with Andreza. I'll tell you more about the actual deal I did with her and everything else, and I'll do a running cost analysis of what it cost me over the last 9 years to have that boat and to keep her in Albufeira Marina. And what we'll do is I'll do a cost analysis on that, how much I spent, how much I got back, how much it actually cost me, whether it was worth it or not, and we'll have a look at the things we're doing with this boat. Now the beauty of this boat is it's going to be done, an amazing looking boat to be honest with you when she's finished, but she's not going to cost a fortune. I managed to pick her up for just 30,000 euros. 30,000 euros, about 27,000 pounds. You know, it's the cost of a second-hand car, with a few, maybe 10, 15,000 euros spent on her, maybe a little bit more. She will be absolutely pristine and a perfect boat for messing around here in the Algarve, up and down the coast, going to the little anchorages that we like to go to. She's got 2 engines. She's got 2 4.3 litre Volvo Penta petrol engines, so she's a bit of a speed demon. I took her out for a sea trial when I took her out, and she was sitting quite nicely at sort of 36, 37 knots on a cruise with not a single blip. It was like driving on velvet. Absolutely perfect. Anyway, enough about that. I'm going to give you a quick tour around, tell you what needs doing, and then I'll pick you up throughout the rest of this season and over the next couple of months as we're doing the work on there. I will be going out, as I say, I did a particularly good deal with Andreza. I've sold her now to a charter company here in Algarve, so I'll put the details of the charter company down in the description of the video. And for those of you who used to always ask me, can we charter Andreza, can we charter Andreza? Now you will be able to charter Andreza. She belongs to a charter company. And part of the deal I've done with her is that I also get a number of free charters on Andreza over this summer, and I'll be using those, and you can come along with me. I'll also, this summer, be chartering another couple of boats. So I'll be chartering boats and going out on them, and I'll take you along with me, let you see what it's like to charter some of the bigger boats. See you soon, guys. Let's go and have a look around this lovely little Cranchi. Okay, here she is. She is, I say, a Cranchi CSL 28. So she's actually about 29 foot. She's 9.2 meters. Somebody's had a little go at redoing the teak on there with some synthetic teak. It's not particularly good synthetic teak, but they've had a go, and they've not finished it off because the gangway there is clearly not been done. That needs doing. So this teak's going to come off, and we're going to put some new teak on there. The gel coat's going to have a bit of a polish on the back. Gel coat's not long been done actually, but she needs a little bit of work there. That registration is coming off. She's going to be re-registered. We're going to re-register her here in Europe. I'll tell you a bit more about that process, etc., and what's involved with that. She's, other than that, the thing is in good nick. She's just been anti-foul for the season. The outdrives, the two twin outdrives on there, Volvo outdrives, have just been serviced. They've got brand new twin contra-rotating stainless steel propellers on there. They've had new bellows, and they've just had new anodes and been completely serviced. That's absolutely wonderful. The engines are due to be serviced this week. We've got Celtic Marine coming over to change the oil, change the filters, etc. All the belts are fairly new. She's just had 2 new starter motors on there as part of the deal for me buying her. That was done by the previous owner, by the seller, as part of the deal, because they were looking a little bit tired. So we've had 2 new starter motors on there. The Bimini itself and the upholstery needs doing. It's a little bit tired. It's not too bad actually. Someone's had a go at refurbing it, but it is tired now and will want changing. That's going to have to be done. This particular seat where everybody seems to step on looks like it's cracking. Just let me check that for you to get that down. So yeah, that seems to be cracking. That leather will need to be changed. So what we'll get done first, this will be the last job to do, we'll get the upholstery changed and we'll colour code it to the new boat. One of the other things we're going to do is we're going to have the boat out the water in this month, and she's going to be wrapped with a new colour scheme. So she's all white at the moment, and she's got a small black band just above the waterline. That's coming out. We're going to keep the black anti-foul, but that line's coming off, and we're going to have a wrap. I'll show you the colours when we're doing it rather than tell you all about it now. Other than that, this, as I say, the decking needs replacing. That will be probably one of the last jobs we do as well. Other than that, she's in reasonable nick. She's filthy. She needs a good scrub. The stainless steel is all in good order. The windscreen is a polycarbonate and it started to mist. Now you can polish these things back, and we are going to have it polished. So this will be done as part of the job. We'll get this this polycarbonate windshield all polished, but as part of the wrap job we're going to have this thing mirrored. So it's going to be mirrored from the outside, and the minute it's just clear glass, clear plexiglass, and it's not the most robust stuff in the world. I don't know why they didn't use glass on it, but it's, as I say, it's a 2000 boat, so it was the thing at the time. But she's in good order. She's got a good cockpit here, absolutely massive cockpit. There's a table that goes in the middle here. That's a very small table, so we're going to have that changed. We're going to get a new table for that, so we can seat some decent people around it for lunch. These seats at the front here, which we have here, the pilot seats and the navigator's seat, these rotate. So once you're in there, and we can get it done, spin that round. This two-handed. So both of these seats spin round, so you can seat them in the middle of the table here, and then they can be at this table, and you can get 6 people around it for lunch if you need to. She's got tons of storage space. She has got a wet bar here on this side. Being an older boat, she's got the old electric top there, and it's also got an alcohol burner in it. So that alcohol burner, you fill it full of alcohol and it can heat things up. That's coming out. That's going to have to go. We're going to have to put a gas ring in there, I think, and convert that to gas as part of this top. The tap probably needs, if it won't come back with a good metal cleaner, I've got a good metal cleaner, but if it won't come back, then I'll change that tap with it and give that a refurb. This thing then comes there. I'll get that up. That glass thing that can come down. We'll fit a stainless steel plate in here once we put a gas hob on it, so we can use that out. And the minute that only works on electricity when it's plugged in to the mains. She doesn't have a generator on board. So as part of that process, when we put the gas hob in, we'll put a gas bottle into the cupboard there so that we can get that done there. So that's fairly simple stuff, usual stuff. She's got a fridge in there and some storage in here, where will you house the gas bottle. She's got storage all around here. The table leg is in there. The little cover for the helm is in there. She has got a cover a full tonneau cover for the whole boat, but that's in a rather sorry state, so that's going to go over to the sailmakers while they remake one of those for us. And then you've got the helm position. Helm position as usual, so normal stuff. She's a little old-fashioned, but we'll bring that up to date. She currently has 3 different depth sounders on her. She's got a fish finder here that goes in here. It's downstairs in the cabin, and she's got her own normal fitted, factory fitted by Cranchi depth sounder, and she's got a depth sounder on the new Garmin chart plotter that's been fitted. That's all well and good, but none of them actually work. We're fairly convinced that the sender from the bottom of the boat, bottom of the hull, is actually broken and needs replacing. So some of these dials are up. We'll also take, I think, this off here. This cover looks rather sort of dull, and we'll pep that up a bit. We'll probably have that wrapped, or do something maybe in carbon fibre look wrapping, give it something a bit of more pep. Maybe something else. We'll see. Depends on what the colour scheme of the boat is. We might put some more accents on it, but we'll see. Maybe have it painted, maybe have it wrapped. She's got automatic Volvo Penta flaps on there, so her levelling flaps can be put into automatic simply by pressing this button here, or you can put it back to manual and use the flaps to level the boat. And she's also got the rise and fall of the Penta outdrives there. So the Garmin kit, as I said, is fairly newish, not too bad, not too shabby. It works fine. I used it while I was out on the sea trial. It tracks the speed well. The only thing it's not doing is tracking the depths, and we'll get that sorted. She's got a rather old-fashioned set of throttles, the old original Volvo throttles, and these are on cables, so they're not electronic, so they're not quite as responsive as the new electronic motors, but we're going to get the cables changed when she comes out of the water, put new cables on to make sure that there's no slack in them, and she's picking up. There's a little tiny bit of slack in this starboard engine and the gear stick rather than the throttle. The throttle seems to work just fine, picks up well. It's the gear lever, because it's got 2 cables on each of these. One is the throttle cable, one is the gear change cable, so they're all getting changed when she comes out of the water. The VHF works just fine. Check that out when I was out. That's absolutely working perfectly. Same here again, as I said, these seats that we have here, these rotate. This one's got a bit stiff. This one a good oiling. You want a little bit of lithium grease on it. There you go. And as I say, these things, they have lift bolsters as well. But these mechanisms underneath that control them, they could do with a good grease, and we'll get those sorted out. There we go. And then you have 3 around here. As I say, for dinner, you've got 2 there, you've got 3 along there, you've actually got 4. You can sit another one here if you want to sit a chair at the end of the table. And then going forward, you've got the usual stuff. You've got steps up and a slightly offset entrance from the windscreen. Even though she has got side decks, she's got a slightly offset, and there's no cushions for the front of the boat at the moment, so we'll get some of those made up. We'll actually have the cushions made up for that, so we can use that. Again, someone's had a go at putting that rather cheap looking fake teak deck down. We'll get that replaced, and I think we'll have that colour coded as well. I don't think we're going to put teak down. We're going to get some sea deck down, and we'll have it colour coded to the new colour scheme. But other than that, I'm not going to show you the engines now, because the hydraulic lift on the motor is broken, so you have to lift it up manually, and I'll do that. I'll give you a separate tour of the boat. The bimini is coming off because it's rather looking sorry for itself as well. The bimini is going to be made and colour coded to the new paint scheme as well. But she's absolutely just what you need for going along, having a great day out on the water here in Algarve. Perfect day boat. Big sun pad at the back. You can get 3 people on there. You get 2 on the front, so you can have 5 people lounging around and 1 person running backwards and forwards, giving them all some drinks. The mounting points up here for the GPS antenna and the VHF antenna and the light system, etc. Looking a bit sorry for itself. We're going to get that painted. I think we'll take that back and we'll paint that, and we'll match that in to the colour scheme that's going to be with the boat. I'll show you that as and when, rather than do it now. So that's just got a little bit of cracking. It's been out in the sun for a little too much time on its own and not properly looked after, but we'll give that a good rub down and a good polish and a good paint, and make sure that that comes back. Inside the boat then, so this then is the cabin have a quick look down in here. She's got a small cuddy cabin, nothing spectacular, but enough to just get by with, get a bit of shelter. So she can seat around 5 down here. There is a table insert down there and a small table. That's the table here that's from the outside of the boat. That was the one that goes up on deck. That's going to get changed, so it's only small enough to sit about 2 or 3 people around. There's a couple of drinks, so we'll get a proper decent table, probably put a teak one in there. We have a small insert there. You can see one of the inserts, there's 2 of them that fill this in, and then that makes up a double bed if you wanted to spend an overnight on here. And as part of that, you've got here a sea toilet in there, and a sink and a shower that clips up. You really want to have a shower in there. I can barely stand in there. I'm 5'2" tall, and so anybody other than that is not going to be taking a shower in there. But there is a deck shower up there. One of the taps is missing on that, so that needs replacing as well. Maybe we'll replace the whole thing. She's got an electric flush sea toilet, and this thing works absolutely fine. I've just checked it out, and no problems with that. She just needs a bit of a clean and a scrub up like the whole boat does. But hang on, what have I done? There we go. That helps if you do that. And then here we've got the control panel for the boat. 12 volt DC on one side, 24 volt on there. Very little kit at all on this thing. It literally is just a very basic. So you got a battery charger, you got the oven and the plugs etc that's on there, and you've got a water heater on there that gives you the hot water. Again, that will only run whilst you are hooked up to the 220 volt mains in the marina. It won't operate whilst you're out at sea. And we've got a new CD player that somebody had a go at fitting in there. Other than that, absolutely fine. It seems to work just perfectly well. There's a small mirror at the back there, those of you can see me. We are. And other than that, there's not much to So then, this is going to be my project for the summer of 2023. Whilst we continue looking for other boats, this one is, I might even keep it when it's done, you know, because it's got such a great boat to take out. And when I took it out on a sea trial the other day, she was absolutely so much fun and so quick with the twin outdrives. So this was what we're going to do with her. I hope you're going to follow through as we bring her back to a former glory, and we're going to hopefully bring her back a little bit further to add a few modern touches to her. We'll replace those throttle cables, and we'll replace those throttles, I think, as well, with something a little bit nicer than the old Volvo ones. And once we've got her up to spec, we'll take her out along the coast, we'll show you how we do it, and it's basically going to be yachting on a shoestring. But for what it is, I know as I say a shoestring, it's not an insignificant amount of money for many people, but it literally is the cost of a car. You know, if you keep 3 cars, like I did, keep more of 3 cars, then like an extra one doesn't really make a great deal of difference. And I suppose if you had a hobby that you had a car, you'd spend just as much money as you would on this thing. There's costs of keeping her, etc. I'll do a cost analysis on that. I'll get all the bits and pieces from the marina. Right now this berth is already paid for, but I had a similar berth to this one with my previous boat before Andresa, and it was around about €2,500 a year, something like that. Not a great deal of money really in the scheme of things. I'll have to let you know on the cost of the fuel, given that she's a petrol boat and has 2 thirsty big engines on there, 2 V6 engines, and so I'm imagining she's going to chew through quite a bit of fuel, but we'll do a cost analysis and we'll see where that gets us. We don't have to go miles and miles away. It's not the sort of boat that you'll take cruising for miles on end, but if you wanted to overnight down in Ferragudo in that little cuddy cabin, absolutely no problem at all. If you want to go out every day, take 6 or 7 friends out and have an absolutely blast of a day, swimming off the back, lying in the sun, you know, have a little bit of a bit of lunch on here, it's going to be absolutely perfect. You want to whiz down to Villamora, whiz down to Armona, whiz down to, you know, down to Portimao and to those sort of places, eat lunch in a restaurant, anchor off the beach, absolutely perfect. Given that she doesn't have a bow thruster fitted at the moment, I'm on an area as to whether we're going to do that. We might actually fit a bow thruster. That'll probably add about €2,500 to €3,000 to the cost, but it might be worth it. I brought her in last time I came out on, with myself on the 2 engines, and she turns particularly well. As long as there's not too much wind about, it doesn't really seem that much of a problem. We don't have tides here that are in this marina that caused you that much problem. So we don't have a cross tide or anything like that. It's just the wind if it's blowing, and especially if it's going to be blowing from the sort of east, it might be a problem. Mostly the wind comes out of the west. Hopefully she'll be done and finished within about 6 to 8 weeks, but I'll keep you updated every time we do a little bit to her. And when she's out of the water and into the hard, I'll take you into the shipyard and we'll show you the work that's been doing on it, including the guys who are going to come and wrap the hull for us, and the windscreens, etc. And hopefully you'll enjoy the videos. Hope to see you soon, guys. Wait out for the next video and I'll update you on what went on with Andreza, the process, and what's going on going forward, and everything else. See you soon, guys. Bye for now.